Good morning. You are on my heart. And I just wanted to pop on and just talk for a minute or 20 about what's happening. Yes, I'm good. I am realizing that the last time that I shared my heart about what's happening in our world right now, since then, it's been a week and everything's amped up and you're the sense in the air is sort of like da 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 da, and everybody's a little restless and disoriented. I ran into a gal at the grocery store who works usually on summer break and Christmas break. She's in college in another state, and she was even saying, I'm still trying to process the fact that we all had to leave the college campus, pack up, school's out as far as the brick and mortar, and we're all going online. So she's back here with her parents. She's a beautiful young lady, and in my heart something just said, yes. Yes, families are the bedrock of this nation, of civilization, of culture that is strong and solid. And could this moment in time be an answer to all of our prayers for the health of our nation, our world, our cultures, our families? And I know you're thinking, an answer to prayer? I've lost tens of thousands of dollars. I'm not getting paychecks. I get that because we're all experiencing that to some degree. And what's so interesting is that, usually if there's a crisis, it's, oh, that hurricane over there, or, oh, that flood down there, the wildfires on that coast. But this is global. And so my friend in Australia is messaging me on WhatsApp, which is a great free way to message and phone call, just like FaceTiming. She can't find ingredients on her shelves, and I can't find ingredients on my shelves, and we can come together in a way that it's a moment we have to seize together. And it's been just a week really since mandatory school closures and all that, and I just want to urge us not to miss this moment. I was reminded of that song by John Mayer, "Stop this train, I want to get off and go home again. I can't take the speed that it's going in. Won't someone stop this train?" And how many times we've sang that song and we've agreed with it. And, prayers go up to God in all sorts of fashions. It might be you, just going crazy on the interstate, dropping F-bombs. I don't know. It may be empty bottles of alcohol in your trash can. Way too many empty bottles of alcohol. It may be you singing a song. It may be your head in your hands, just wolfing down your lunch at work, pondering the distance you feel between you and your children. And what am I doing? What is my life about? Who made these decisions? Why did I make these decisions? It's such a great time to just pause and just lean into it and ask God to help you. Ask God in Jesus' name to reveal to you what your moment is about right now, because each of us, I really believe this. And yes, I am tearing up a little bit because it's a very powerful time in our world. I mean, in my lifetime, my entire lifetime, I don't remember anything like this. Nothing's come close to this except as a young girl, when Ronald Reagan was president and the air traffic controllers went on strike. And, we were sort of like, and my husband and I were on a trip and we were going to be stuck and all that. Well, that's child's play. This is real. And as much peace as I have in my heart about everything taking place right now, whatever it is, I really do trust the Lord. And I'm so grateful for leaders that I feel like are doing a good job right now in managing all this. But I think maybe it would be tempting to say, who stopped the train? Get that train going again. train, because it's about comfort. It's about relief. It's about our daily life patterns that we don't even realize. They're our default. The horse always goes to the barn. Even if we're cussing and grumbling and hating our lives, there's comfort in routine. And there's, I'm responsible as a parent because, the paperwork's filled out and Johnny has his backpack full and I didn't forget the lunch. And every day Johnny comes home with the backpack full of homework. You hardly feel like you know each other. Your siblings are bickering. The house feels chaotic. Your most expensive cost, your home, whether you bought it or you're renting. Nowadays, rent is as high as a house payment in so many of our cities. And you're there a couple hours a day. Your kid's in bed and at school more than you ever see him. Where's the emotional connection? How's your marriage? Whew. There's a whole lot going on here. If we allow that work to be worked inside of us, in our hearts, and that's the hardest place. I heard someone say that change is only accepted happily by babies with wet diapers. Because change to so many of us represents our first thought is it represents loss. But disruption, as I see it and as I've seen it in my life, has often been an invitation from heaven to to check my lenses and to look at my life. And we've never had so much time to look at our lives. Let's not spend all day scrolling our phones trying to figure out what's going on under all this. What's happening? I want to stay informed. I want to be on top of things. But one of my life principles that has served me and my family so well is seize the day. Today is really all that matters. There's nothing back there for you. There's no money for you back there. There's nothing you need back there. Don't look back and don't look ahead right now. Take today. Seize this moment. Drink it in. Find the gold. Find the silver lining because it's there. It's there. And I just believe that, I was thinking about times in history and times in my life when there's been a disruption. I remember particularly horrible disruption in our lives that it just felt like an earthquake. And earthquakes, they shift the plates. They flip roads around. They turn directions. But this was a life earthquake. And in the middle of all the debris and the smoke and the dust flying and the relational breakdowns and the sorrows, the questioning, the wondering, how is this working? I'm going to get my coffee. Some things remain constant. And that's what I was thinking too. I'll go back to that disaster, but I was thinking how blessed we are. We have food. Taxes now aren't due for 2 more months. Excuse me. We have our homes. We have our children with us. Many of us have grandparents around, or we can Marco Polo them, or FaceTime them, or WhatsApp them. Marco Polo is a video chat thing. Look it up. It's great. But what I was going to say is, like, when I get outside and I take a walk, there's a warm-heartedness in the air, and people look at each other with a compassion and almost a gentleness. And I've noticed that a lot because the earthquake is affecting all of us, and we're all feeling tender. I think we're all feeling vulnerable. We're all feeling hopeful in our communities. We're all feeling supportive, except those of you that are buying all the toilet paper. Stop it, okay? Just stop it right now. But I'm lighthearted because that's truly how I feel. I am 100% confident in my God and in the patterns of my life, and the values that I embrace are a sure foundation. But I was thinking about the disruption, the earthquake that happened in my life several years back. It was our entire family's life. And in the middle of it, I sat outside on the patio and I said out loud, maybe this is an answer to prayer. Could this be our answer to prayer? For years and years, to be free, to be out of a system, to be released from the chains of the bondage of the system we were in. And so that just occurs to me every single day for you. And I just have to say, could this be your invitation to more? Could this disruption be a ginormous blessing for you and your kids and your spouse and your family and your community? Some of you, if you can really lean into this moment, if you can really drink in the beauty of it, if you can really find the gold, you'll be changed forever. You will not want to go back to life as it was. You're getting a taste of something that very few people get to experience, because most people are plugged into a system that they live in their entire lives. And they do everything that appears to be responsible and secure and traditionally acceptable. And whether it's peer pressure, whether it's what your parents taught you, whether it's what public school or private school or your pastor taught you, well, church is closed. Church out there is closed. Formal meeting places in brick buildings or wood buildings are closed. Now guess what? That falls on you. You get to be the spiritual leader of your life, of your family, the captain of your ship. Of course, you communicate with those around you that believe and love God, and you support each other's faith. But I'm just saying that all of our exit doors, we're checking doorknobs. We're thinking, oh, let's go do. And then we go, oops, can't do that. Well, let's go. I'll go. Let's do. Some of our families are too big to even gather if we're really obeying the 10 people or less. I'm laughing. I know I'm laughing. But I have friends with 10 kids, right? Anyway, I just want to say, and I'll say some more things again, but I just had to give you my bright side is that, I've heard that it takes 30 days to establish a pattern, to reinforce a new habit, or to break a pattern or a habit. And, you've probably had about 5 days of mandatory kids at home. If you are a wreck, if you are falling apart, if you are just miserable and upset, well, I'm going to do a podcast for you today, and I'll drop that later today, because that means you're doing it wrong. Okay. I'm going to give you some key points that are going to help you make a shift to begin enjoying your new normal. But just so a few points. Could this be the answer to the groans that you poured out of your heart from your pillow in the middle of the night? Could this be the answer to that song you sang for years? Oh, stop this train. Can somebody stop this train? Because this is historical. The gears of the world are grinding to a halt in so many areas. This is unprecedented. This is miraculous. And as I looked at that young lady, where the safest place she could be is with her parents, studying online, I thought, you know what? This is so great for families. This is so great. It's messy. It's not easy, because really what this does is boil us down to what we really are. And we can't distract ourselves with our toys. And that's something that I always, always pray for people who cannot find God, who can't seem to open their hearts to Jesus. I'll pray, let their toys be broken so that the distraction is removed, so that they look to you, because that is where my life comes from. In Him, I live and move and have my being. And so if I can't go listen to live music or run down for fish and chips, at the pub, or if I can't go to a church building and gather with people, if I can't suddenly go to the mall and shop, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Lost my train of thought just now. But I know what I was saying. Those places of comfort and relief, and we don't realize how many props we're leaning on that aren't real. And you're teaching your kids to lean on props that aren't real, whether it's shopping or drinking or eating or entertainment, going to the movies. Now, I know you can do a lot of that at home, but there's something about being on the run that we can just ignore the voice in our head saying, this isn't real. Get back to real. Your life is a mess. Your house is a mess. Your kids are a mess. You don't know them. They don't know each other. How are you and your husband? How are you and your wife? I hope you're hearing my heart, because I just know that we're not victims. We are not victims. We are not victims, and I'm determined. Whatever the next few weeks holds in store for us, I'm going to mine the gold in that, and I want you to do the same. Mine the gold. And thank God for what you do have, and rehearse what you do have, and get outside and move your body and put your phone down, listen to a good podcast, read a good book. But you know what? I'm going to do some of that on my podcast later when I talk about the homeschooling aspect. So I think I'll sign off for now. And God bless you today as you find your way in all this. Let's just turn it around and make it our blessing. Make it our answer. Make it you could pay a life coach this month $10,000 to teach you, to try to teach you what this few weeks of lack of a better word, confinement will teach you. I don't want to use the wrong language. Words are really important. And if you let words get in your head that are negative, you reinforce that negativity. And I feel like what we have to do is say, Lord, are you in this disruption for me? What am I supposed to learn in this moment? What prayers have I prayed that have brought me to this place? Yeah. Okay. Bye now. Talk later. God bless you. So much love and so much faith.